Hey chaps, welcome to episode 24 of Nemcast, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming event we've got, which is Op Kingdom Clash, and I'm joined by my mate Elliot and BT, or Big Tom, from Optech. So, get this quick advert out of the way, and we'll be right back. Cheers chaps. Hey folks, just going to borrow 1 minute of your time to get this advert out of the way. As you might be aware, we have our own event coming up, Op Kingdom Clash. The site itself is located in Cheadle, Huntley Wood, at Stoke-on-Trent. Now, what is Op Kingdom Clash? First of all, it's a battle sim, so it's going to be a good Friday to Sunday weekend scrap, up to 300 players. Now, the key word is battle sim. It's not a mill sim. Mill sim is a very serious thing. Battle sim is more of a structured skirmish, if you like. Now, what else is going to be there? Not only is it going to be a weekend battle sim, it's a networking event for small businesses across the UK. So if you guys want to come along, it's £40 for a pitch, and that'll give you a 3x3 pitch from Friday afternoon till Sunday, and you can set up, network with other companies, sell your wares and make your money. I'm trying to help small businesses as well with this event, so keep that in mind. Second-hand sales area. We're welcoming second-hand sales, but if you do have a business, we ask you book a pitch. It's really that simple. Second-hand sales, however, is a free-for-all. If you want to set out from the back of your car, you can, or you can use the designated second-hand sales area. On the Saturday afternoon, there will be a shooting comp. It'll be using attack sense, and we'll have a course of fire over one building. There'll be a first, second and third prize, including the dunce prize. Beer tent and food vendors. So the Bentley Brook Brewery are going to be bringing up their minibar, which is essentially a converted horse box with pumps. So there'll be beer on tap all weekend. As far as food is concerned, we have breakfast, lunch and dinner provided by different food vendors. You'll be able to go and buy all the stuff you need from them. But don't forget, bring some supplies for when you're in the game. Toilet blocks and showers. There will be a full array of toilet blocks and showers. Pre-book now for £85, and the event itself is hosted from the 4th to the 6th of July. So I look forward to seeing you all there, and any questions, don't be afraid to get in contact with me with the links below, or if you want to go ahead and book, again, check the description below. Cheers folks. And we're back. So, formal introductions. Let's just get ourselves. Introduce yourself.
Why not?
Properly.
I'm Elliot from Tropic Thunder. I've been playing Airsoft for longer than I care to admit, and I am in love with Huel.
I'm BT. I'm sort of the game writer, member of Tropic Thunder as well, but
Very much
game
the
writer
master.
for game master and game writer for Optech
100%.
Kingdom.
So, what we want to do with this episode is basically we're going to chat a bit of shit, have a bit of a catch up, and also we want to summarise some of the things we've added to the event, and yeah, just get it out there so people can see what's coming up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is we're having an evening game, so it's going to be a pistol and shotgun only. Do you want to go over it a little bit?
Yeah, so obviously, Waldo Dynamics wanted a bit of a.
He wanted
bit
like
of a
a
part of
bit
it,
of his.
didn't
He put a suggestion in. So if you remember in the last episode regarding our event, I suggested to people, look, if you have anything you want to include, or you have a cool idea you want to put into us, we will take it on board and implement it. And this is one of the things we've done. So Waldo reached out to me on Discord and went, look, can we have a bit of a pistol and shotgun, something like that, game in the evening? And yeah, we've implemented it. So after the shooting comp, there'll be just a straight up pistol shotgun, no mag adapters, keep it nice and simple, straight up brawl. Thinking team deathmatch, aren't we?
Yeah, something along them lines. It's going to be into the evening, so it'll be a bit of a, getting dark. But yeah, some along them lines, just a straight up brawl, really.
We've not
Nice and
decided
fun.
on the exact location yet. We could probably do it in the village, or maybe Hilltop.
Yeah, I think probably like in the village.
Old
I think.
village.
Old village. Lots of angles, lots of
Yeah, a
nice
bit more
CQB.
suitable.
You know what I mean?
And it's not too high or low there as well, so
Yeah.
you've got a decent amount of
Yeah.
interesting buildings, but also not too much terrain as it's getting dark, because
Yeah.
you may get people who fall on their bum.
So yeah, that's going to be one of the things we're implementing. We're going to go for the pistol and shotgun in the game. Like I said, no mag adapters, keep it nice and simple. It's going to be a straight up team deathmatch. 2 teams, maybe 3, it just depends on numbers. And yeah, keep it nice and simple.
Sounds fun.
So let's move on to the competition. This is where you come in. So do you want to introduce it? What
Yeah.
was your original idea, which sort of spawned this, was a very different thing, which
Yeah.
we're going to try and implement later.
Yeah,
Not this event, but
no.
the following one.
This is the foundation to a concept that a lot of airsofters are familiar with the idea of finish brutality or shooting competitions with physical aspect of challenge. The idea is to introduce airsoft to physical challenge as well as things like that. So we were talking about having airsoft brutality rather than finish brutality. And I think it's quite a fun idea. I think it's a higher level of challenge, but you can obviously have small, medium, large extremes of challenge. With this shooting competition, we're just doing a nice, interesting, semi-complex shoot house, single lane, where it's just one person, you get 2 goes, and there are prizes.
Yeah. Now, should we go over the prizes quickly? So first prize is going to be a rifle. Now, if I can afford to get them in, I'll get 1 AK and 1 M4, something like that. So there's a bit of a pick. And I'll make sure they're in good working condition when they're given to the player who wins. And I'll also give them a little bit of warranty. So not only will you get the manufacturer warranty, but I'll provide you a little bit of warranty as well. As long as you're reasonable about it. Don't go strapping a fucking car battery to it and then going, it broke. Because I'm just going to say, nah, mate. Second prize, we're talking 4 kilos of Warhead BBs. So there's going to be 2 weights to choose from. There's going to be 2 8s and 3 2s. You can have a mixture of both. And then third prize, what did we say what third prize was? It was a free game day.
Free game day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And there's also the last prize.
Yes, the wooden spoon.
Now we're going to keep that a secret, but whoever performs the worst, and don't get me wrong, we'll know if you do it on purpose, but whoever performs the worst, there will be a little prize for you just to say, yeah, don't worry, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So
performing badly on purpose really doesn't work in your favour because the prizes for first, second, and third are going to be
pretty
interesting.
Far better,
you know,
far better.
Just
I don't know of any other
something,
like shooting competition in airsoft that has that kind of prizes.
No.
So
one thing we wanted to do, like I've spoke about it before, but with our event, we're trying to make a fun weekend for people where they can make some really good memories, some excellent airsoft, keep it nice and simple, really basic, stripped back rules. It's a battle sim where everyone can come and have a good time. We're also trying to help small business, very important to me, and just help people network, that sort of thing. And also we're trying to implement a bit of a competition. We're trying to help make airsoft into a little bit of a sport. Now, it's a very dangerous thing to cross when you start to say, let's make airsoft a sport, because there's no paint marker on you to say you've been hit. It's a game of honesty. You can't really police a game of airsoft when there's money involved, but you can police a shooting comp.
especially with something like attack sense.
Yeah.
So what in our shooting competition, we will use attack sense targets to log hits and times of the hits as well, so we can have a time tracker. The idea is that the fastest through with the least amount of least amount of misses wins.
Yeah, the fastest. Yeah,
however many times you can miss.
High speed.
Yeah.
But no, it should be a good one. It's going to be a nice, simple comp. It's going to be good fun for everyone. It's not going to cost to enter.
No.
So obviously it's cost to entry for the event.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're at the event, to enter the competition, it's completely free.
Yeah.
Just sign up during the day, on the Saturday morning, throughout the Saturday, because it's obviously happening the Saturday evening. Just go and find Elliot or one of the marshals, or we'll try and make sure we have a stand set up.
There'll be a big fat fog on with like a notification half an hour before.
Mm-hmm.
Come and register, or you just don't even have to register for it. Just turn up in the area. We'll tell you where it is. We'll make it very, very clear, and we'll set off some smoke bombs just to make sure everyone knows where it is.
I will preface, if you want to enter and you're under 18, the main prize, if you do so happen to win it, you won't be winning the main prize. You'll have to get your dad to win the main prize or someone like that. You're going to have to make a plan. I will do my best to make sure you win a prize, but just bear that in mind. We're not going to give a untwo-toned riff to someone under 18.
100%.
To be reasonable.
Yeah.
But that's the preface. So what made you think about doing the comp in the first place? Obviously, we discussed doing the comp, but what made you want to do what eventually will lead into, which is going to be airsoft brutality?
So I love airsoft. I love the game days. I love what we're kind of doing in the social aspect and getting everyone together and being connected and just really mates as well as airsoft players. But I wanted more of a challenge. The thing is, it's like you said, it's a game of honesty. It's a game of honour. But I wanted a bit more of but my time last time was 6 minutes, 28 seconds. And me being the most competitive person you've probably known, like I will be like, okay, so next time I want to do it in 6 minutes flat. Mm-hmm. And every time there's a benchmark that is unambiguous to whether that person thinks you hit them or not, or whether you think that you've hit them or not. That's the time. That's how many times you've hit the target. Good luck to your next round. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's a huge element of airsoft that is missing, if you know what I mean, because you get a lot of very, very competitive players who, let's be honest, there's a lot of egos out there, and egos are not your amigos. So let's just have fun in a single environment with an airsoft weapon and enjoy ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, the rules of the little shooting comp we are having, it's basically bring your own long gun. So any sort of main rifle, really. Yeah. We're going to have a spare rifle just to the side in case yours happens to go down. Don't worry, we'll have one spare to one side so you can just carry on, rattle through with that. Now, how are we going to lead on from this? So the initial event, we're going to do the shooting comp, but the following year, if it's successful enough and we decide to do another event, we will probably combine Airsoft Brutality with the event. Yeah. What is your vision going forward? Because obviously we know the current vision, which is just a basic shooting comp. Nice and friendly for everyone, high speed, get through, fastest time wins, best accuracy, etc. But explain finish brutality, the whole concept of it. For someone who's
brutality,
for someone who's not fully aware of what it is.
So there's lots of finished brutalities on YouTube. If you want to understand the general concept, the best way to do it is have a look at those. I know Polar Tactical do a really good set of videos on it. I think even Administrative Results has done a few videos on it as well.
Forgotten
and
Weapons.
Forgotten Weapons.
Times,
Gun Jesus, he's done it as well.
There's Print Shoot Repeat. He's done a few.
Yeah.
I think he went to one.
He definitely did. Yeah. But the idea will be, because Opt at the Kingdom is a fantastic site for a concept like that because of the length and the breadth of the site. So the idea would be 3 stages of leveling difficulty. There would be blue phase for guys who want to give it a go and are not quite 100%. So that was a little bit of running, a little bit of physical activity, little bit of shooting, and it's just your time versus misses in time to complete. Then there'll be red phase, which is more of an intermediate. So it's a lot more, you're a 1 or 2 year player and you're keen as mustard to learn a bit more complexity, understand challenges, and that's where we'll introduce things like observation challenges while under stress, physical activities that are a little bit high level, and then there'll be black phase, which is literally semi finished brutality in terms of the severity. I'm talking about a 1.5 kilometer run with kit on. I'm talking about weapon drills. I'm talking about complexities, recce challenges. And I'm quite excited about that because I just want to run it myself.
Now, don't get me wrong, that is not going to be at this year's event.
No.
We're doing a nice, simple comp, but maybe the following year, or we can intertwine it, we'll make a plan.
It's my dream. It's my Christmas wish.
It's just it's something a bit cool. It's not going to be for everyone, but obviously there's different levels
100%
for people to join in the following on ones.
And I think this opportunity with the shooting court is our opportunity to show you how we would run something like that, right?
Yeah. It's a good way to test the water.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. We've been there all afternoon today going through concepts of, okay, well, what does this look like? How is it going to go? And we were physically there in the beautiful cold rain thinking about, okay, well, which way do we go now? How do we do this? And just doing dry runs to the point where we could probably do it in our sleep now. And now we want to be able to support everyone else doing it. So it's about the quality of the delivery of the event as much as anything else, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that I want to discuss is what's improved at Optac since the last podcast. So you can see what progression we've made, what's been going forward, that sort of thing. So do you want to lead us in, mate?
Yeah, of course. So going through a bit of a building phase at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sort of
rebuilding.
Storm. Yeah, Storm, Awen really did a number on us. But it's given us a chance actually to rethink where positions of buildings were, have a better with less stuff around. It's given us ideas. It's given us the ideas of, well, maybe we could put another 2-story there, or maybe we can improve this sort of single story cover. So we're going through a bit of a building phase. Mm-hmm. Vehicles, yes, that's a big one. That's a unique selling point for Optac, I think.
Yes, when I went to the event last time, at the last game day, you had a couple of Landys. You've got Bertha, which is the big truck, sort of Unimog style truck, troop transport kind of setup, the gun truck, and you had basically a crap load of civvy vehicles just sort of dotted about.
Yeah.
What's changed on them?
So there was a selection of like non-runners that were just used as like bit of scenery, bit of filler in the village.
Bit of something.
Bit of something, yeah. So 2 of those are going off to a garage and getting fixed up. So we're going to have some dedicated like OP4 technical type vehicles, which is cool. Obviously, we've already got the Landys. They're going to have a bit of a spruce up.
TLC.
Bit of TLC, yeah.
Love it.
And then there's always talk of other vehicles arriving.
Yeah, we're always looking. I mean, Rob's itching to buy a BTR, but he just
Get a
can't
Stalwart.
yeah.
Stalwart Chieftain, what we're thinking? Like, give
one-
Mr. Hughes a call. And get him to
One of
fix
the
it
things
up.
we were thinking of doing is on the gun truck Landy. I don't know the exact designation of the Landy. I'm not a rivet counter, as you said.
Okay.
It has a GPMG mount on the top. Now, I've repaired the GPMG, made sure that's all correct, but it doesn't have a face like a shield plate. So I'm going to ensure I've got a big sheet of aluminium. I'll stick that on the front. So if you do get on there, because any player can get on the gun truck, assuming the goons are on your side during this event, you can get on that gun truck and go wild.
Yeah.
But we are going to make sure there's a plate there. So if you do start to get shot, because they will shoot back, you've got a little bit of something to hide behind.
Yeah.
Because you are locked in a swivel ring.
Yeah. It's worth prefacing, jumping passenger side and gunner. No drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're not getting in vehicles.
don't
and
jump
just
and start
tazzing
driving.
It just
around.
makes it a longer fun session on the gun.
Yeah. So the shield for the gunners are definite, and I've got a little mandible that we can probably give to the driver because we usually don't have people firing into the vehicles as much. But it's something we're sort of looking at changing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Landy.
Getting shot in the face.
No, let's be honest though. It's with a Landy. Most of them are roller painted. You're not worried about a few little.
It's not so much the damage; it's more of the
drivers
being struck, and especially if you're moving.
So, what other events have we got coming up? What other events and OpTac have we got coming up? Because it's obviously there's our event which is in July, first weekend in July, Op Kingdom Clash. I'll put an advert down below. What else is coming up?
Shameless plug, right? Okay, so the OpTac Milsim is returning. So I've only been involved with OpTac for the past year, and in that time it's been we've run battle sims, which have been a bit more involved, but still not as in depth as traditional Milsim would be. So we've got Operation Homestead, which is Homestead Part 1, which is a Milsim that's returning to OpTac in March, end of March.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah,
We're-
it's
we're-
so good.
we're-
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
all
sorry.
be there.
I literally, I saw. So we saw like the pre-edit to the trailer today, and I was like, "Oh, sweet baby, sweet Jesus!"
By the time you watch this trailer, will be out. So give it a watch.
Nice.
Maybe we'll put a link for the trailer in the
We've got to.
comments,
Yeah.
well, in the description below, just
Yeah.
down there.
So Up Homestead, we've got a 3-part sort of battle sim because we still want to keep the battle sims. Some players don't want to do the full 10, 12 hours. They want to do an 8-hour, which is all well and good. So we've got a 3-part battle sim coming up, which will run throughout the year. That's Operation Scorched Earth. And then some ones that I'm really looking forward to. We've got Operation Irene, which is Black Hawk Down. It's going to be our take on Black Hawk Down. And then we've got Operation Citadel, which is a 13 hours in Benghazi event. And then obviously Kingdom Clash and Rumble 2.
Rumble in the Jungle 2.
Now let's talk about Rumble 2. We attended Rumble 1, Rumble in the Jungle 1 with Alphonse, and we
Shout out to Alphonse.
lovely chap.
Airsoft Alphonse.
really nice chap.
Unfortunately, I had to wash the hand that he shook, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
It was a nice chap. Now, one thing I need to preface: I am simply not interested in internet drama. Not interested. I've avoided it like the Black Plague. As you were all probably aware, I'm good friends with Luke. Negative Airsoft is a nice chap. He famously does not get along very well with Mustang, and I'm not interested in that beef. I'm not interested in the bullshit. I want to avoid it like the Black Plague. I'm having to address it now purely because people are associating our event with Ascension Research and Kicking Mustang. I don't dislike the blokes. I've met them briefly once. I'm sort of indifferent to them. They've done me no harm. As far as I'm aware, they're not attending our event. They're not uninvited, but I've purposefully not invited them because I'm aware of the controversy those guys tend to bring.
Yeah.
Look, if either of those two do watch this, and please don't take it to heart, I'm not interested in drama. Simply not interested, but they bring a level of drama that I do not want.
We just want to try and keep it neutral, right? And this is the thing about Tropic Thunder. People get confused about whether we're connected with Ascension Research as well. We kind of all met as a Tropic Thunder group in the first Ascension Rumble event at HQ Airsoft.
Mhm.
And it was only through that event that we all joined up, the first 16 of us. We are acquaintances with Ascension Research. We've played with them before. We've not had any direct issues, and we're relatively neutral to them, same as everyone else. The idea, with a lot of your thought processes, and that's why you and I get along, is let's focus on having fun and being nice to everyone and not being dicks.
Look, if someone's going to cause shit online, I'm just going to go, nope, not interested. I'm just not bothered. The best method for me is keep the drama out of it. Let's just have a good time at Airsoft.
Yeah.
So please don't be put off thinking we're associated anyway, because as Nemtech, as a company, and as Tropic, we aren't directly associated at all in any way. We might just pop up at some of their events, so be it. We've got no major problems.
It's usually, when you look at events and when you think about, for me personally, the biggest, am I going to go to that event is the date.
It's like, am I free?
Yeah, am I free?
Do I need to be at home for the kids?
Will my girlfriend/wife allow me out to play with my friends? Do you know what I mean? Please go to play with my friends. And then you look at, okay, where is it? Yeah, fair enough. It's only a couple of hours, long weekend. Why not a camp? This is the kind of thing.
Now, how are OPTAC associated with Ascension and Mustang? I feel like it needs to be addressed. Yeah, because I had a brief conversation with a friend, and I was told some players aren't going to attend our event purely because of this association. I feel like it needs addressing.
Yeah. I think it's association isn't
a
bad thing. Yeah, it's not the word. I'm a thick Yorkshireman. I can't think of the word. OPTAC are happy to host Ascension Research.
Yeah, it's a host. It's a we're hosting our event.
I've met them. Get on fine with them. Mm-hmm. I'm the same as you. Don't do drama. I'm happy to I want to get along with everybody. That's my that's my MO. I want to get on with everybody. Yeah. So, and speaking with Rob and everybody, we purely are renting the site to them. And it's not to say that, we don't get along with them. I mean, it's just, we'll rent the site. We don't have anything to do with it, because we do have,
you're friendly to them,
we're friendly to them, and that's what it is. Yeah. We'll help run their event. They'll help, boost us. It's mutual.
Yeah.
But in no way are they, part of the team, if that makes sense, without sounding too harsh, because obviously on the day we all are one team.
Yeah, to deliver a good event for
you have
for
to
the
be
players.
from a cohesive team. It's the same with our event coming up. On the day we are a very close knit, cohesive team. On the run up to that, we're just organising shit. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, I just felt like that needed mentioning. So please don't be put off by any of that nonsense. Really, I'm just not bothered about it. It's something that I didn't want to address, but there we go. It's done.
I blame OPTAC really for having such an awesome site. The problem is that site is honestly one of the funnest sites. I was always historically really put off by woodland sites because I used to say they are featureless. They are flat ground with trees, a bit of leylandii hedging, and that's it. And it would really wind me up because I would then get snapped by a ghillie every single time. And it would be, fair enough, the ghillie's doing a great job. He is basically invisible. He's got a long barrel and he's hitting me out from further than I can reach him. It would just wind me up and I'd be like, I'll just play CQB. So then for years, I played CQB and thought that's the only thing I'm really interested in. Then I go to the likes of your site and also Adrenaline Airsoft up near Catterick. Great site because it has undulating hills. It has different features. It's got lots of different areas. Your site, on one end of it, looks like the middle of a Scottish pine forest and the other side looks like a mangrove fucking...
swamp. Yeah, it's
swamp.
very, very
weird. It's crazy.
The terrain changes so quickly.
Yeah.
It's in an old quarry, basically. Is it a sand quarry, a limestone quarry or something?
I couldn't tell you.
It was a meme mine, wasn't it?
It's a good spot. And the thing I can probably closest compare it to is maybe Humber, but less steep hills, less steep
less
cliffs.
limestone,
The
less
thing is,
cake batter to get all over your
less
clothes.
cake
Yeah, the thing is with OPTAC, you've got so much more cover there. Where you can approach someone really, really tactically and effectively in OPTAC. Whereas with Humber, it's a great site. It's run fantastically. But a lot of the site you can see the approaches of a lot of your opposing force. Yeah.
Now, one thing I think we need to cover generally is a bit of how to survive an OPTAC event. So we did the NAF survival guide for the National Airsoft Festival a couple of years back. Dom and I did. One thing I think we need to cover is a similar principle for Our event.
Events just generally, like especially yours in July.
Yeah. So
Water.
let's cover the first thing. It's going to be warm. It's July. It's going to be, hopefully, all fucking being well. It's not pissing it down, touch wood, and it's nice and dry. That's the reason I picked the date. Should be fairly good weather. It's going to be warm. You're going to need to hydrate. Now, it's a big site. It's not something you can just get halfway into the game and go, I'll nip back to the safe zone. It's not a nip back. It's like a small hike back. It's
a 5-10 minute walk, but a
Yeah.
10-minute walk if you've just been in a fight and you're blowing.
Yeah, and you're sweaty as fuck. Your glasses are starting to steam. You've got a woolly hat on like this, and there's sweat running everywhere. And
Nice hat, bro.
And if
Thanks, bro. Nice hat.
Cheers.
Not nice hat though. But,
I mean,
anyway.
Yeti's cool. Yeti's cool, but these are cooler.
yeah. Mine's
So
just piss rat from today.
water is going to be a necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are we saying? Like a 2 litre bottle in a backpack? What?
Well, water.
Water.
Double your volume for what you normally would take
Mhm.
because it's always better to have it.
Now you were going on about sort of like foods. What we're
Oh,
saying
yeah.
food wise. So it's sort of a high protein, low carb thing. Or?
Well,
I'm
love
shit with fitness. I'm dad bod number 1. I will just take Monster energy drinks and
and then you'll
autism.
bonk hard. Then you'll bonk hard.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. Thing is, I am in love with the drink Huel because I'm a filthy sewer rat, and I love the idea of just having a bottle that is £3.50 with 26 minerals in it with 400 calories that just does a shed load of protein as well. I think it's a good idea. Flavors vary, but I think they're really good. The energy gels are really good as well, although some of them can taste a bit weird. The Arla protein yogurts,
Yes.
they're fantastic because you can literally take them out on site, and if you're a bit hungry, you can just wazz a couple of them, and they've got carbohydrates, they've got fast acting kind of hydration and a bit of protein in them as well, and it's just a really comfortable little food. I hate having do you remember the Nature Valley bars? I absolutely hate them because as soon as you open them, this literally just goes and everything just goes everywhere. It's horrible. Yeah. What do you take?
Biltong.
Monster energy.
Yeah, Biltong's good.
White Monster.
Money.
Yeah, money all the way.
I'm a man of tradition. Give me a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Embrace tradition.
Yeah.
Full Red Bull.
Monster's too edgy now. It's
I
all
mean-
the goth girls have it, and you're like, just give me a Red Bull.
I identify as a goth girl, so yeah.
I mean, petrol mix.
Yeah.
And I'm directing this at Ollie. You know, don't tell me it's jelly beans. Or so what is it? No, jelly babies. And then when I reach
Tactical
in,
trail
it's
mix.
just raisins.
That
and
was
cashews.
your pick. That was your
Pure
pick.
sadness in a bag.
Yeah,
Did you, when you were a
sadness.
kid, did you ever win one of them claw things to get the teddy bear?
Never won anything.
Well, the thing is actually a problem. I won one, so did Ollie probably. So I knew I would just give it a good old finger around and give it a clamp, and you're good to go, mate.
Haribo. I mean,
Star Mix
yeah.
or Straubs, hella Straubs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
On a serious note, though, I'd say biltong or like a beef jerky, something like that.
Yeah.
High protein. You're going to get a bit of fat, a bit of protein.
And for lunchtime as well, there's going to be traders, right? There's
Yeah,
going to be
so-
food stalls.
Don't worry too much. It's just while you're out. So while you're taking your food and your water out with you, there's obviously going to be the fob. Now the fobs for each team aren't attack. The other team can't attack it. It's not bumpable. So you could technically leave your backpack with your BBs and your food and water in the fob. So as you're walking back and forth from getting shot, that sort of thing, you can just go and top up. Because again, it's safe enough where you can stop and have something to eat and drink, not safe enough to take your iPro off. And yeah, it's a good little spot. And because the team commanders are going to be at the fobs, no one's going to go around nicking stuff. It should be pretty safe.
Yeah. The commander will not be leaving the fob.
No. Also, we're hoping to have a gazebo for each fob. So there'll be a fairly dry area as well, if it is drizzling or whatever it might be.
Can we bring like a Chesterfield sofa and just kind of a couple of
you
cigars?
can
and-
drag them up. That's fine.
I'm just going to stick them on the top of the Land Rover.
Now, on the note of actual food in the safe zone, so we have an open thing for vendors. So if you have a food stand, even if it's a small startup business or a slightly bigger one, get in contact with us. We'll get you set up. The more the merrier. We're not making it exclusive for anyone. We are going to have several there if we can. So yeah, like I said, if you have any of your own business interests in a small food vendor, whatever it might be, give us a shout. The same goes for beer stands. So we have our local brewery down the road, Bentley Brook Brewery. They're going to be bringing a horse box up converted horse box, so like a mobile bar, and we'll have a couple of picnic benches that sort of set up where we can have a few beers in the afternoon/evening. Obviously, if you've been drinking, you're not playing. That's sort of obvious. And yeah, we'll have beers and that sort of thing, a few campfires, things like that in the evening. But throughout the day, you'll be able to get refreshments, food, actual food, and sort yourself out properly. But we are stressing, make sure you take ample supply of just top up food and water while you're out there.
Yeah, I think water's the key one because
Yeah.
there isn't really a clean running tap water that's
Not
Just
within
bottles,
yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of bottled water. I mean, there is the toilets. There's running tap water there. I'm fairly sure it's clean.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'd imagine it is, to be fair. We can make sure there's ample supply of good drinking water there, so don't panic.
And the thing is, if you don't bring the right calorie amount for yourself, if you don't bring the right replenishment, just generally, food or water, you're kind of ruining your own event. You're ruining your own day.
Yeah,
Or
you're there for a
weekend,
weekend. You don't want to spend, the money to come attend the event, and you're fucking knackered the whole time because you've not fueled your body properly.
One Tesco ham and cheese sandwich does not do it, guys. All right.
How many times have you been to an event there and just seen someone just completely?
Just flake out dead hard.
There was one
Fade.
guy I remember years ago at Anzio camp. He was like, "Oh, I'm fine," and he was literally bloodshot eyes, pale face, and genuinely wobbling. And I was like, I gave him half my food because I was like, "Mate, you're gonna pass out." Like, he was putting a shift in the entire day. Fair play to him. But I was like, I gave him an apple, a couple of Snickers bars, like half a pasta pot, just get it down here, because I know we're all trying to be like cool and like double hard and all this kind of stuff. But remember, you're looking after yourself. It's a hobby and you're trying to enjoy yourself. You're not going to enjoy yourself if you're going to semi-faint out there because you haven't taken the calories. That's just it.
Yeah, we're not here. This event isn't going to be for the super double hard operators. It's for people to make good memories.
Yeah.
Have fun. The best way I can describe it is I'm trying to make that sort of crossover between the social aspect of NAF, because let's be honest, that's why most people attend the National Airsoft Festival. Is you go for the sort of the vibe of the event and the social with your mates. I'm trying to make that with our event, plus trying to help small businesses and have a really good time playing airsoft.
Yeah.
That's why we've got that sort of player cap that we've got, and we've designed the game the way we have to keep the game flowing, and it's not a clusterfuck. So moving on from the food and water, you're obviously going to need a backpack. Are we talking like a small backpack, just a bag?
I'd bring a 30 litre. One of the best backpacks I ever bought was, like the OEX brand from Go Outdoors? I think it was something like 20 quid. And it was just a black backpack, and it got obliterated in terms of punishment. And it didn't fall apart. It was great. And I could leave it somewhere and it would get a bit muddy and it'd be fine. It's machine washable as well. It was great.
I mean, if you want something that's particularly camoed, Helicon Techs have a good range.
Yeah, they do actually. That's a really good one.
I've just picked up a Rhodesian brushstroke, smaller style backpack, and it does me just fine for all the events.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You
then
can take BBs, water, food.
bit of the higher end as well. Mr. Ranch do some really, really nice stuff.
Especially now they are owned by Yeti.
Yes.
Yes,
they are.
I am very
Yeti
excited to see
fanboys.
about that. We are.
Sponsor.
Yeah. It's a sexy colour as well. I'm not going to lie. It's a very sexy colour.
I'm going to change that colour in the podcast now. Just to annoy.
Purple all of a sudden.
So we're moving on from food, water. Obviously, it's a weekend event, so we arrive Friday afternoon, camp the Friday night, airsoft starts Saturday morning. Now, you're there for the Friday night and the Saturday night, go home Sunday, you're going to need camping kit. How would you guys run it? How would you bring your camping kit? I know how I do it. I have my own van, and I've just got a bit of a janky setup in the back that gets me by. But if you're bringing a tent, what would you bring? Something just small enough for you? How would you run it?
I think it all depends on who you're coming with, really. So, if you come in with a friend, and you've not got a tent, you potentially look at going halves on a bigger one. I've got a OEX 2-man sort of hiking tent. It's 2-man tent if you want to, tip to butt.
Yeah,
Real
snugly.
If you want to know that friend, real well. Like.
If you know that friend, brilliant. If you don't know him, maybe not. Yeah. It was one of the best tents I've ever bought because it's so small. It's so hot inside. It gets warm.
It keeps nice and warm.
Yeah.
I mean,
not
it shouldn't be too cold.
Well.
It shouldn't be too cold in the evenings.
No,
Time of year that we're having the event. However, like I said for the NAF one we did was, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So bring cold weather gear. Even if it stays in your car, for the love of God, bring cold weather gear.
Wet kit.
There's nothing worse than going into bed on the first or second night of an event. It's fucking freezing cold and you might be a bit damp, wet, whatever it might be. And you're just miserable the whole night. You don't get a good night's sleep. So bring plenty of spare clothes, socks.
I think
pants,
as well,
that sort
like,
of shit.
going off that, and obviously it depends on different people's situations. But if I was going to an event where I'm playing on the Saturday and the Sunday, I'd have a second sort of change of clothes.
Kit.
Yeah.
Optac is if it's been raining, Optac is quite muddy.
Yeah.
So
not only mud, there's the stank.
if it's been raining on the run up to the event, then just bring a spare pair of clothes, maybe a spare pair of shoes just to knock about in the safe zone area, because obviously been out during the game day, you're gonna get a bit muddy, a bit shitted up. You might want to bring some shoes just to slip on, something nice and easy so you can move your feet about.
Yeah.
And
Crocs, or just like Tesco own Crocs or something.
Some
because
Tacticrocs.
some decent like woolly socks and
Did
just
you know
some Crocs,
Crocs
mega.
can fit M-Lock? Sorry.
Can they? I didn't know that.
It's me putting
You always needed a
Acro
pair.
on top
Surefire
of
on the front of it.
No, you need them.
Acro on the
You
top.
need them that pursed on your tingers.
100%.
But anyway.
Nice.
So bring some spare footwear, that sort of thing. Cold weather gear. Bring a
Wet
warm
kit,
sleeping bag.
Wet kit, honestly. In July, it can be either glorious and like Wainwright-esque beauty, or it can be piss wrapped.
Yeah.
So just be aware that wet kit will be there. But also don't be afraid to bring spare kit because, and I'm not kidding you, gents, Optac has the best toilets and shower block in the game. It is a massive, massive site, but it has a fantastic set of toilets. They are on all night and warm all night. So if you are freezing cold in your tent and you feel like crap, you think, I need a bit of morale here. So what I'll do is I'll go and have a nice warm shower, get changes in some fresh clothes and have a beer with my mates. That is the best morale booster you can have. And a decent number 2, it fixes your morale straight away.
In a warm room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially how it works is the site itself, Optac, is attached to a wedding venue. And the wedding venue has a full toilet block and shower facility. So both men's and women's. And it's bougie, but we've got to pay for that facility to rent that side of the facility for the weekend, which we've done. So we can make sure that you guys who are coming to the event have the best experience possible, because Portaloos just suck balls, don't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That blue smell is just...
There's
you
nothing
never
worse
lose it.
than knowing that you've got to go and take a dump.
Hey, it wouldn't be a Nemcast episode
really,
if we didn't talk
really-
about toilets, would it?
100%.
So, moving on from the tent, your sleeping setup, you need to stay warm, decent sleeping bag. Even if it's well above what you need for that time of year, you can always unzip it.
Use it as a blanket,
Yeah.
you know?
A decent base mat.
Yeah.
Don't just bring one of them thin Povo spec mats. You're going to be really uncomfortable.
You know what the best thing I ever bought years ago was the MOD wool blankets. You can get them on eBay for like a tenner, and they are fantastic because they are very hard wearing. You put them on the bottom of your tent, and their thermal barrier capabilities are really good. So you can just put them under your sleeping bag, under your mat, and they will give you a decent thermal barrier, but also protect your sleeping mat, whatever that is, whether it's inflatable or just whether it's a foam mat or whatever. It adds a bit of comfort, but it also adds a thermal barrier, so it makes you way more comfy
The thermal barrier is more important, arguably,
when it's
than
cold.
the layer of
Yeah.
sleeping mat you could be on. 'Cause
Yeah.
warm is more important than comfort in that regard.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's crazy quick how quickly the heat just
Saps you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to car park to camping, how are we going to run it? So, obviously, we've got the main car park and we've got auxiliary car parks. Now, we're going to ask that you don't set up your tents in the car park because we're going to need to make sure there's plenty of space. Obviously, if there's loads of space, go for it. Go for your life. But there is a designated camping area, which will be in a field, nice soft field, not the car park where you can't hit 10 pegs in. But don't pull your car or your vehicle onto the designated camping area, grass area. It will ruin the grass. It's normally a wedding venue. We don't want big car wheel divots in the grass for obvious reasons.
Yeah. So like how we normally worked it is you park up, D-bus, get all your kit, start setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of, don't be flinging beads all over the floor.
Just be reasonable. Don't litter. I'm going to have to spend a solid day of my life after this event walking around tentatively litter picking to make sure it's nice and tidy. That's something I'm quite anal about, especially that Optac have been kind enough to let us host an event there, we've got to make sure it's left in a good state when we're done.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Bring a couple of bin bags. There is a skip there. Just don't leave piles of shit about. As far
Speaking
as
of that, sorry to interject. Do you remember your first event that we ever went to?
Oh, with the pile of shit to have the car park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the douchebags who did that, because you are just a sewer rat. If you leave a pile of rubbish on a site with bended it's
There was
not
a full tent there, I think, as well.
Yeah, a tent and a bent gazebo.
Yeah.
Take it with you, you absolute rodent. And I will happily shame whoever I find out that will be if I find it out in this event, because as far as I'm concerned, you are a guest at someone's event, right? And if you wouldn't go, if we're going out for beers and I come around your house for like a couple of beers beforehand to watch a footy game, I'm not going to come with a bag of rubbish and just leave it at your house, am I?
No.
Treat it as you would like to be treated.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it really
So
winds
just
me
be
up.
respectful of other players as well.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. We're talking about the obvious, to be honest. We shouldn't have to, but we are.
You've got to remind them every now and again.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I know what site that people play out.
Now, campfires, this is one thing. Now, over the camping area, so the green grass area, it's a very large area where you're going to be setting up your tents. If you wish to set them up there, no campfires on the grass. Car park, go for your life. Speak to a marshal first, make sure they're happy with the way you're setting it up. We do ask if you've got like a fire pit, fire bowl, something off the floor, all the better, because then it's a much easier clean up. We don't want piles of ash that could have bits of old wood with nails in it in the car park for obvious reasons. So if you can, bring a fire pit, fire bowl, speak to a marshal first before you set it up.
We do actually have fire bowls on site.
That's
Mega.
good.
So there will be dedicated fire bowls set up for people to go and gather around.
But obviously,
Nice.
if you want your own or you're doing a bit of cooking,
Yeah.
go for your life. Just if it's going to get a little bit silly, just make sure you speak to a marshal first. That's all we ask. We're very reasonable. And like I said, let's not damage that grassy area for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else we need to cover? We'll take a brief pause. And we're back. So let's quickly go over the list of people who have booked, who are coming, that sort of thing. At least the main guests who I think are worth a mention, honourable mention. Obviously, Negative Airsoft is going to be coming up for a day, minimum. And yeah, he'll be chatting to all the tech. So if you're an amateur tech and you want to meet Luke, it's well worth going to have a chat with him. He's a very, very knowledgeable man. Even if it's a job that you're stuck on, you're having some problems with, or you're after a bit of a simple tip on how to do tappet plate timing or something autistic like that, well worth a chat. He's a very handy man to know, and he's a really nice chap to actually talk to. Who else have we got? We've got Waldo Dynamics. If you're a man of the high capper or something like that, you like AAP parts, whatever it might be. I think he's just brought out a load of stuff for the Lev AR, hasn't he? Yeah, he's going to be there with his mates. Well worth going to chat to him. He'll be bringing some products. You'll be able to buy some of them on site. And he also does B2B accounts. So if you've got a small shop, reach out to him either online now, go give him a chat, and or wait for the event and you can chat to him then. We've got Raresoft. He'll be bringing an array of weird and wonderful shit.
You could probably bring some. I mean, behind that curtain, there is some spicy kit.
Oh, there's loads of shit. But
And we
I
can
need
bring
to,
toys.
the event. I'm trying not to make the event about me. It's about other companies.
No, but you've still got some cool stuff that we can add.
You'll have a stand there, won't you, as well?
We could also
I'll
do.
probably have a stand. Yeah.
What do you think about this? And I'm bringing this to the table right now. What about a launcher competition? Because everyone has these random launchers that they've bought, and they've never had an opportunity to use them or play with them, right? You have the length and the breadth of that site, and I'm thinking Hilltop, right? Because the Hilltop site, we'll see it. We'll put some pictures up. At the base of that area, you can have an area where you load, and it's just a target shoot. And the idea is that you've got to launch your tag launcher or your 203 or your 40 mic, and you've got to hit different targets up that hill. And you've got to figure out, it's a point system.
Let's do this.
Why not?
If you guys want to see anything else added to the event, don't be afraid to put it in the comments below or reach out to me directly.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can implement it. If you want something weird and unusual,
You really like that.
Yeah.
I saw the
Some sort of-
twinkle in your eyes.
make
You know
it
what I mean?
make it a custom kit comp, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
If you have an idea, let me know. Yes. Moving on to the other guests. So we've got people also like Bearded BB. Now, this is a very important thing to me. It's something we've set up on the side. Now, like I've mentioned before, we're trying to help small businesses. Now, one of the things is with small business, it's not just airsoft orientated. We've got the beer stands, we've got the food vendors. We also have photographers. One of the things I've noticed with airsoft photographers, they're seldom paid. Not all the time, anyway. If you're lucky, sometimes the site might pay you a bit of something to get you by. Most airsoft photographers seem to get some really high quality snaps, put a watermark over it, and then they sell the picture.
Yeah, like a pay gate. Yeah.
Which is reasonable. People have to make a living.
And they're what, like £2.50 a picture? You pick your top two and you go for it.
Yeah.
The Bearded BB is particularly good at his job.
Yes, I agree with that.
Very.
He's now sort of under the OpTac umbrella.
He is, yeah.
I think he's on the payroll now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah. We've been working very closely.
So he'll be bringing out the trailer for our event very soon. We're going to work alongside of him, make a cool little trailer, that sort of thing. And he's also sort of got this joint idea with me where we're going to do something called the press corps. Now, instead of having a photographer walking around in like a bright yellow vest, sort of breaking that level of immersion that you sort of become accustomed to when you're playing.
My immersions.
The immersions.
UN helmets.
Yeah,
UN helmets.
We're going for blue UN helmets.
Yes.
And then the press vest. So a blue press vest.
Yeah.
Sort of like a flak vest, that sort of thing.
Nice.
And
Sky News broadcaster lanyard.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
And the press corps, the idea is, if you're an amateur photographer who wants to really seriously get into it and you've got a basic level of kit, you can buy the press vest and the UN helmet. We'll add you to the group chat and you can turn up to the event. The photography side, as long as you're just being a photographer and you're willing to post them up after the event, it's free for you to attend. If you want to play for the day, then you have to pay to play. But if you want to just come and take photos, completely free. You'll be working under the Bearded BB. He'll be in charge of the press corps. So how it'll work is we've got the main press corps, he's in charge, and so we don't have 4 photographers in one village and there's another firefight going in a different spot. He will be micromanaging people, saying, right, you two go over that way, you two go over that way. So we've got the best coverage. Because there's nothing worse than going to an event and going, oh, I can't wait to see if they've got any decent pictures of me so I can have a look. And you scroll and you think, oh, there's none of me.
They've
So
got one of me walking back, blowing out my ass.
At least if there's plenty of photographers, even if they're amateur photographers, it helps the players because there's more pictures. It helps the amateur photographers because you're getting to know some of the bigger names in the industry.
As well, just experience.
For reference, the Bearded BB does work under Krios Photography as well. So some of the folks from Krios might be there as well. So you're not just getting experience from someone who's just a local good photographer. You're getting from some of the bigger people in the industry who know their trade. They might tell you a few bits, a few hints, tricks, things like that you didn't know before, that will help you in a massive way going forward.
You know what is another great idea? Tag launcher targets.
Yes. So there's no more honourable mentions to my knowledge. There might be some I've missed. It's late in the evening and I've had a skinful of beer. But yes, moving on. Do you guys have just had a random thought of a tag launch contest of some form?
Yeah.
If you've got a custom built thing, tube, launcher, whatever it might be, and you want to see some sort of a comp, put it in the comments down below.
Yeah.
We'll set one up. It's a fun idea. I'm down for
Just
it.
super simple. It's super simple. Literally, targets at 5 points, targets at 10, targets at 20. If you hit them, you get 5 rounds, you get a couple of goes, and whoever wins gets bragging rights as the coolest launcher guy in the
Now,
world.
to be clear, so everyone's aware, OpTac do allow tags
Yes.
and things of that accord.
We do, yeah.
So yeah, by all means, bring them along.
Yeah.
More the merrier. It's good fun.
Absolutely.
Nothing
How many
better than seeing
people
smokes launched at a distance?
and how many people buy tag launchers or launchers and never use them?
Yeah, because they can't afford. They can't afford to, and B, most sites don't allow them.
Yeah, we could even 3D print just a little launcher, just a little launcher like award. It's just like a guy with just a little launcher, just because there it is.
Just says bestest tube.
Justifies your innocuous purchase. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Thump.
yeah, thump comp.
So, like I said before, if you have any unusual ideas, suggestions, anything like that, give us a shout. Any other ideas? We've gone through the comp.
Yeah.
We've gone through the guests, the association problem we've recently had to deal with, and an update on the event. Like I said before, keep your eyes peeled on the social media. There's going to be some proper trailers dropping soon. So when we start properly advertising for businesses to come and reach out to us and attend the event proper, we can say, look, here's a proper trailer, here's what we're going to be doing, the full layout of the event. We've already booked everything, we've paid for the nice sort of wedding venue area, that's all settled. The event is 100% committed, but we need to just get the social media things on point a little better.
I think it's important to remember about your event and this event, our event, is that it is as much a good fun battle sim, comp, shooting competition, kill house. All of those are one thing, by the way. But also it is just a chill social event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bring your mates, bring guys who have like never played airsoft before and want to try it and see. We're trying to represent in one event. We're trying to show people the community of airsoft.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
what is the best of airsoft.
Yeah.
So the fun side of it, where you can go out and have a memorable weekend of good gameplay.
Exactly, yeah.
Vehicles and that sort of immersion.
Yeah.
It's the social aspect as well.
Yeah. It's not a Milson where you're going to, you've got to wear the right camouflage.
Yeah, you've got to be Johnny Tryhard all weekend.
Yeah.
I love trying hard, but it's not that kind of event. It is it's a social airsoft event.
Yeah.
A social
high
networking
caps,
event.
gun mags, whatever you want.
Yeah.
The only stipulation we have is on the pistol and shotgun game, don't bring mag adapters, HPA, that sort of thing. It's spring and gas sort of stuff.
Yeah. And that's specifically for that.
It's just to keep the event fair, level and fun.
Okay.
Just for that part of it, it's a few hours in the evening.
Yeah, I think we did say HPA pistols, but no adapters.
Yeah.
Possibly,
Yeah.
if memory serves. I don't want to see like a high cap with an M4 mag.
If that's
No,
you can even do it. I don't know, but I mean, surely.
And maybe a HPA shotgun. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
We'll make a judgment on the day in the evening. If it's something really fucking obscure, I am probably going to say no.
Yeah. But the rule of cool, if it looks cool, kind of going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
But it's not just about the airsoft. Obviously, we've got that sort of evening community vibe going on where we're hoping people can have lots of good fun, some good memories, and make that sort of a yearly thing where you're looking forward to the next event next year.
I think it's really important, Court, to, like, everyone can probably put their hand up when I say this, but how many people have heard gossip or chat about someone or just seen someone's comment online and assumed that they don't like them or they don't agree with them or something like this? What we're trying to do is, we've noticed over the community that there is a lot of fragmentation. There's a lot of guys not liking each other because they're under X banner or Y banner. And it's like, can we not just come together and agree that airsoft is fun?
Yeah. This is the thing. I just wish that it's the needless bullshit drama, and I want to bring it back to its core of come here for a good weekend and good game of airsoft.
Yeah.
It's the same applies to everything. OpTac in general is a good site for that, because the general rule of thumb at OpTac, if you're going for a skirmish day, is you go for the game day and then most of the site ends up in the local pub down the road, and then they get a few pizzas in and have a pint or half a pint if you're driving, and then go home after that.
Or a Guinness Zero, because Guinness Zero is really good.
It's just brown water.
It's great. It's just cool, right? It's just big boys Ribena. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
But it's a lot of airsoft for me is about, obviously there's plenty of women in airsoft, but let's be honest, it's mostly male dominated, and blokes need that sort of cathartic release of just airsoft, but it's also nice for the social aspect. To blow off a bit of steam, chat some shit, sit around a campfire with a few beers afterwards, all kitted up, looking cool.
Yeah.
And then you can just talk bollocks for a few hours. That's it. It's the little things that help make a good event, and this is what we're trying to aim to help produce.
Yeah.
Come and find me and talk about camo.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Show me your obscure camo.
Yes, obscure camos.
Is it like a black trench coat that you just open up and they're just
like
swatches?
swatches.
Swatches are just a million bits of camo. Like,
look at my Alpenflage.
But you know, you start airsoft because it looks cool.
Exactly.
You stay in airsoft because you meet mates and you want to play with them mates and you want to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I mean, Nemtac and Tropic Thunder. Half of the time we meet up, we're going for a beer, or we're going for a burger, or we're just coming to say hi, or coming to your place, or whatever.
Just do a podcast, fuck about. It's mostly the social aspect for me,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
absolutely.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good game day, but the social aspect is what keeps me in this
100%.
industry and
Definitely.
the sport as such.
Yeah.
So this is the whole idea, and like I said before, if you have any ideas you'd like to put forward for the event, drop it in the comments, give us a message, call me, whatever it might be, and I will do my best to implement it. One thing I want to address before I forget as well, someone mentioned camper vans. We are allowing camper vans. If there's a big car
And
park...
caravans.
Caravans, yes.
Periwinkle blue.
So if you've got a camper van, whatever it might be, by all means bring it along. There's no electrical hookup or anything like that, but it's, come park it up. It's just a big van, really, or just a two-berth car.
Yeah,
It's-
you will be parked in the car park.
Yeah.
So if you come in with mates who are in a tent, obviously you
You're
won't
going to
be
be sort of separate.
You will be separate, but
Assuming there's enough space in the car park and your mates want to set up in the car park area with the tents, by all means, but it's rough setting a tent up in there. Trust me, I've done it. I'll put some drone footage that I've got. We have a massive bell tent and we absorb the centre of the car park with it, which is fine. And it has rebar tent pegs, like big rebar tent
We bent
pegs.
them trying to get them in.
And we were like hitting them with small lump hammers, trying to wedge them in the ground.
Yeah.
It's not fun setting a tent up there. So I'd highly recommend, if you've got a camper and your mate's coming along, park around the edge, the sort of periphery
Yeah.
of the area, so you can be sort of semi-close to there.
But in terms of a car park, like, how many airsoft sites do we know that are really, really good, but the car park is just a street? Or
it's on street parking.
and I know I'm bigging up Optac because you're here, and I really don't like it. I'm joking, but the reality is, it's a gated site where no one can see your cars.
Mm-hmm.
So you, like, how many guys are genuinely having kittens about their kit being seen? So they cover it all up with blankets or whatever. I understand because I've been there. You know, we've been to sites that are fantastic, and you've had to park on the road, and you get really sweaty about covering your stuff up. No public person can see your car from where you park.
No.
And the car park is central to the site. We got to throw some pictures up or something.
Yeah.
It's flat, it doesn't flood, and it's relatively easy to get to in every way.
We've got a little bit of levelling to do in the car park. There's a few like puddle areas, but we'll sort that before then.
That doesn't even, that wasn't, but considering all day today, it was hammering it down with rain.
Yeah.
There were 4 big puddles across the entire car park that I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'll chuck some drone footage up, you'll see.
Yeah.
It's not a biggie. I'm fairly sure that wraps everything up. Any
everything up.
ideas? Anything?
I mean, other than my amazing idea of the launcher comp, I mean, you should have seen him. It was literally like, I was saying to my son, do you want to go to Toys R Us? What? Yeah.
You just want to fire a
Goose.
tube at a wall. That's all you want to do.
The thing is,
use Goose and then be
100%. I think that's a really good. But the thing is, we will be very clear about what we are delivering is going to actually be delivered on this, right? So how many events? A couple of events we've been to where there have been lots of things promised, and for lack of the situation or the reality, sometimes those things haven't happened. If that is the case, it will be clearly stated beforehand.
Yeah, we'll make sure everything's clear.
Realistic
I'm trying to go
expectations.
for absolute clarity.
100%. Yeah.
I booked the week prior off from my normal life job to make sure I'm at the site for a week prior to ensure everything is ready.
Courtney's a fart surgeon.
Yes, full time. How did that appear in your brain?
I don't know.
So I'll be there for the full week prior to make sure every little snagging job is done.
Yeah.
Make sure, like, there's one thing we spotted today. There's no chicken wire stapled down to the stairs going up on the second story buildings. That's one of the snagging jobs I've got to do. The pintle mounts on the vehicles, I've got to put some plating on there so whoever's on there doesn't get lit up too bad. We're going to be doing on the technical. It's more like more of a fucking testicle. I'm going to make sure we've got some decent pintle mounts on there, mount an M60 to it. I bought an M60 for the event just to chuck on one of the trucks so someone can jump on it and have fun.
Yeah.
The whole idea is we're trying to make a really good event and stick to it, and it's going to grow each year. Because I like NAF, and I didn't go last year because of the whole sort of debacle with the pricing, and this is the one thing that spurred me on. So NAF, this is your fault.
Yeah, we blame you for this, really.
Yeah. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys there. It should be good. Don't forget to book below. I'll put the link in the description below.
I'm really excited to see a few European guys as well. That'd be really cool.
Definitely.
It'd be really cool to have a few European guys, because some of the European events look epic. And I'm just thinking, come over here. Come and see what we got.
2026 might be the year of some Tropic Thunder away days.
Oh yes. Oh good God, yes.
Yes.
Hopefully my missus doesn't watch this because she's going to go, "You're not going away." We haven't been on holiday.
He might go
recently.
missing for a period of a long weekend. Like,
I'm
Snatched
working-
off the street.
I'm working away.
I'll bag him. I'll zip tie him and bag him. I don't mind.
So yeah, that being that, I think we best wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below. Like I said before, any ideas, suggestions, put them in the comments. I always address them. And thank you for watching. Thank you for attending, chaps. And
Thank you
I'll
for
speak
having
to you all
us.
soon.
Cheers, Court.
Cheers, chaps.